So now is the moment to finally look at the two great masters of the musical theater, definitely the grandest living creators of musical theater right now, to look at the similarities and the differences, and perhaps to decide for ourselves whether this rumor about the feud is true and justified. A little piece of trivia is that Stephen Sondheim and Andrew Lloyd Webber share a birth date. They were born both on the 22nd of March. Sondheim in 1930, so recently, quite recently, he turned 90, but he's still um, quite well. And Weber in 1948, so he's 18 years younger, but they actually share a birth date. Um, they both had many shows in their career. They both had success and failure. But probably, if you look at Andrew Lloyd Webber, he had more commercial success. His shows broke the records for long run. They had many revivals, and they really are known by lots of people, even those who are not particularly interested in musical theater. However, Stephen Sondheim arguably had more critical success. He is the darling of critics, definitely of American critics, and this is perhaps one of the reasons why there is this talk of rivalry and the feuding between the fans of Sondheim and the fans of Weber. Um, he is believed to be more um, intellectual as a composer. Of course, he's more versatile. He's not only a composer. If you remember, he had a very good career as a lyricist, not only writing lyrics for his own shows, but also other shows, sometimes very successful, groundbreaking shows like West Side Story. This was his debut, and he debuted as a lyricist, not as a composer. Only later he started writing the entire shows, something that Lloyd Webber never did. He always uses the help of a professional lyricist. He only writes the music. But sometimes music is believed by many commentators to be more intellectual. So the fact that he is responsible both for the lyrics and the music is that they are very well fitted together. You may remember when we talked about Sweeney Todd, there are even suggestions of stage direction hidden in the music, and he uses this music very carefully. It's very well constructed. It is very well designed. So it follows the mood, it follows the characters, it follows the lyrics, probably, arguably, better than the music of Andrew Lloyd Webber, which has to fit someone else's lyrics. He had some great collaborations, like with Tim Rice on Jesus and on Evita. They worked in very close collaboration, but sometimes with other lyricists especially, it didn't work so well. The music of Andrew Lloyd Webber is usually described as more emotional. He composes grand, sweeping tunes, definitely more melodic than Sondheim's. He uses leitmotifs, so he uses the technique of taking little snippets of melody and giving meaning to the melody outside of the lyrics. This is something that's taken straight from 19th century opera, and especially the composer that Andrew Lloyd Webber admires the most, that is Puccini. So if you like Puccini, you will like Andrew Lloyd Webber. If you like Stephen Sondheim, then you might be encouraged to explore 20th century opera, because he is sometimes referred to as the kind of gateway drug to 20th century opera, which is less melodic, which is more focused on the theater, and in which music just creates the mood and the kind of general tune than let's say is pleasant and singable and hummable. As far as the great hits go, the great showstoppers, the songs that are covered by many artists, I would say Lloyd Webber wins in that. There's hardly anyone who has not heard Memory or Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, or the title song from The Phantom of the Opera. And many people who know these songs are not even aware they come from musical theater. There were multiple covers of all these songs, sometimes in different genres and styles of music. Like you may want to Google the Phantom of the Opera song sung by rock groups, or even hard rock or metal groups. They're quite interesting. And Stephen Sondheim, well, there have been many concerts with different artists interpreting the works of Stephen Sondheim. But to be honest, he only has one great hit song that everybody knows, and they do not even know, even those who do not know it's from a show. The title of this song is Send in the Clowns. Google it if you don't recall it. You might think that you will recognize it. It's a song from a show, A Little Night Music, and even people who have seen this show sometimes do not know what this particular song is about and what mood it is supposed to be sung in. It is a scene between two middle-aged people who used to be lovers, who are now, I would say, old friends. They are no longer involved. Actually, she is a retiring diva. This is the 19th century story again. And he is a rich aristocrat with another wife. So they are involved with other people. And suddenly they discover they still have feelings for each other. But this time it's him who is more involved, because when they really were lovers, it was the woman who was, oh no, it was the man, it was her admirer who was more involved. And now the situation is reversed. So the background for this story is we have two former lovers who are no longer young, but they still discover they have feelings for each other. And the woman, the diva, the actress, is more involved emotionally than she used to be, while the man is more distant. And she sings this song, this is a female song, and she uses a kind of metaphor from the theater language, from the theater jargon. Send in the clowns. It means, apparently, I didn't know it before I knew this song, it means that the play is going wrong, there is something wrong, the actors are losing their lines, and we need to do something, we need to improvise, because we are at the verge of completely overturning the play. So it's not a funny song. It's not a joyous song. It's a song, as Stephen Sondheim himself admits in one of the documentaries, that he wanted the song to be sung with a little bit of bitterness and perhaps even anger. That this woman is a little mad at herself that she let herself fall in love with the same man and now he's not that interested. And that she's an actress. She should know better. She should know how to play the game, and somehow she got herself caught. So look up this song, Send in the Clowns, and you will know you know it. And this is the only song that can seriously be said to be the mega hit of Stephen Sondheim. I will give you one more link to the little performance of a version of this song that they actually perform together. Stephen Sondheim and Andrew Lloyd Webber. They sit at the piano together and they sing this song together. For the men they both knew and closely collaborated with, Cameron Mackintosh, the producer, the greatest producer of musical theatre ever. So there was a big concert for some anniversary of Cameron Mackintosh, and they performed this song together as a kind of gift for him. So to finish off this class, it's really the question of personal taste. It's the question of what you are looking for in musical theatre. Do you want more intellectual stimulation, or do you want more exuberant emotions? Do you care for intelligent lyrics that are fitted perfectly to the melodies, which are not that melodious but still singable if you want to, or you just want sweeping, grand, operatic themes and showstoppers. If we look at the cultural presence, actually, like the films and the TV series and such things, I guess you will find more Stephen Sondheim because he seems more intellectual and more kind of sophisticated, and relatively rare positive cultural homages to Andrew Lloyd Webber, so quotations from his works which are not criticized but used in earnest. So you may want to explore that. Another category in which I guess Sondheim wins is making a musical for children. Andrew Lloyd Webber tried a few times. His very first show, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, was a show for children. One of his most recent shows, School of Rock, is also a show for children. They are, yeah, well, good, but never so good as Into the Woods by Stephen Sondheim, which is, in my opinion, the best children's musical ever, especially because it's so intelligent that actually the first act is for children, and it was very often used for school performances. It's a kind of mix up of various fairy tales. And the second act is not for children, so it kind of reworks the tropes from the fairy tales very intelligently. So, my opinion on that, I admire them both. I really admire them both. Probably I have a softer spot for Andrew Lloyd Webber, although I think that Stephen Sondheim, from what can be learned from the documentaries and the interviews, is a nicer man. He's such a nice, caring, sweet man. Really, really, I would love to meet him personally, possibly even more than meeting Andrew Lloyd Webber. But I refuse to take part in the feud. And I strongly recommend for you to get to know and familiarize yourself with the works of both these great giants of the musical theater and make your own mind. And for next week, we'll talk about the LGBT themes in musical theater. So please watch two musicals, any version, film or stage are good. One is Rent, and the other one is Hedwig and the Angry Inch. And see you next week.